Now, grilled cheese is normally a delicious, homey comfort food made with simple ingredients, and those are wonderful sandwiches. But today, we're gonna do something a little special. We have a collection of ingredients from a lovely local market, Zabar's, and we're gonna do the most flavorful, most delicious cheese board in a sandwich, opulent grilled cheese. Okay, so we have our beautiful ingredients here, but before we even dive into those, right behind me, I have a cast iron pan getting nice and hot. It's just on a medium flame, nothing too high. Cast iron is a wonderful material for cooking because it retains heat really well, but it takes a while to get there. So to start off, I'm gonna prepare my cheeses. And I have a blend here of two. We have really nutty, sweet, delicious Gruyere. We're gonna shred this and it's gonna get melty, but it's gonna retain some sharpness and flavor. Just using the large side of a box grater here. I like these larger shreds. They definitely melt while the sandwich is cooking, but they retain a little shape and texture. And now my Taleggio. This is what's called a soft rind cheese. So it literally has this like soft, stinky, slightly sticky rind. I'm gonna cut off the rind and just leave myself with this really creamy, delicious cheese. Cut it into planks so I can divide it between my sandwiches. Now I'm gonna prepare our strawberry jam mixture, excuse me. Now you might think this is a little strange for a grilled cheese, but think back to that cheese board we were talking about. This is the fruity, acidic, sweet mixture that's going to balance the richness of the cheese. And it's gonna be helped along by some capers. We're just going to take a few teaspoons and mash them into our jam. This keeps it from being too sweet and buttery and rich with the strawberries and the cheese. Adds a little sharp acid, a little bit of salt. Now think of this as like the pickle on your cheese board. It's that salty bite that lets you keep eating cheese. It's a little palate refresher. Now my bread. I'm using this beautiful seeded rye sourdough. And you notice they're kind of smaller slices. So it's a lot of rich flavor and we just need a slightly smaller sandwich. I'm going to take some butter and I'm gonna spread one side of each piece of bread. This will get me that beautiful, even golden brown crust when I cook these. Don't need it too much butter, but just the exterior side of each slice. My bread is buttered, ready to spread my toppings. So first I'm gonna divide my creamy Taleggio between my two sandwiches. And then my beautiful jam mixture. This is not only adding a ton of flavor, but it helps the shreds of Gruyere stick to the sandwich. It's a little sandwich construction glue. And I'll just use my spoon to spread it out evenly. And then I will do my shreds of Gruyere divided between each sandwich. This is so good. You could almost eat it without grilling it, but who doesn't want melted cheese? And then top and smoosh, top and smoosh. So I'm over at my stove with my nicely preheated cast iron pan. It's been on medium heat, so it's pretty warm, but not scorching. Do you hear that? That's the butter hitting the hot pan. The moisture in the butter is evaporating, causing that sizzle. So good. Oh my gosh, I can smell the melted butter. Okay, I'm gonna push down the sandwiches with contact with the pan so they get that golden crust. Smell the delicious butter and cheese melting. All right, they're ready to flip. They're getting nice and golden brown on one side. Look at that beautiful color. That's from that delicious spread of butter. Ooh, some of the delicious jam melted through, get a little caramelized. I'm gonna squish them down again. Help that ooey gooey cheese spread evenly everywhere. And just another 3 minutes and they'll be ready. So at Food and Wine in the office or the virtual office, we talk a lot about food and our favorite places to buy it, which often are local groceries. One around New York is Zabar's, which is an Upper West Side community staple. And Margaret Ebi, who wrote a beautiful ode to that particular market, she and I wanted to collaborate on this really special sandwich. Ooh, I'm getting like delicious pools of cheese melting into the pan, getting nice and crispy. So I've decided to dress up a little today. I don't normally cook in a dress and pearls. But an opulent sandwich calls for a little opulence in the kitchen. I think these are perfect. I'll slide them out of the pan onto my cutting board. So all I can smell right now is melted butter and cheese, and I just want to eat all of these. You hear that crispy crunch. That ooey gooey cheese. Oh, it's like pouring out of the sandwich in a way that is so enticing. So you have the flecks of strawberries and capers, a ton of melted taleggio and Gruyere, and a super, but not greasy, just super buttery, crispy bread. So the only thing I really need with this delicious, decadent, opulent sandwich is a glass of champagne. I have rosé champagne here. It's gonna match the fruitiness, the sweetness, the buttery brioche flavors really well. Beautiful. Okay, now most importantly, I'm gonna go right for the center for the ooeyest gooeyest cheese. It's creamy and cheesy and a little salty and briny from the capers. The sweetness of the strawberries comes through, but the caraway seeds in the bread get nice and toasty in the pan, really blooms their flavor. So good, and little crispy bits of cheese along the edge. I think this is the perfect cheese board in a sandwich. Feel free to embrace the opulence of this grilled cheese and cook and dine in your formal wear, or cook in your sweats and make one of these, but be sure to pour a little bubbly on the side. Cheers.